Well, welcome to Found in Focus. I take this time to do a short devotional because I've just been so inspired by the guests that I get to speak with. And this week I spoke with Ann-Marie Covert. She's a therapist. She has just does amazing work, but her story, honestly, you need to go and listen to this podcast because she has an incredible story of being really from her birth, being raised by a mother who was unstable and unwell mentally, emotionally, and just how God is so gracious. Even as a little girl, Anne-Marie felt that she had to parent her parent. It's a powerful story, but it's also this, again, the story of redemption and how God heals us. I think by listening to her story, I was learning a lot about myself. We all have difficult things in our life we have to process. And Anne-Marie, in her own way, she uses a lot of great illustrations, just really taught us on the podcast. And the verse that came to mind as I was listening to Anne-Marie's story was Psalm 116, verse 2. It simply says this: "Because he bends down to listen, I will pray as long as I have breath." You know, why do you pray? Why do you call out to God? As a young girl, she called out to God and she had faith in God from she says 4 years old. She knew that God was actually the one protecting her and helping her as a young child. And she just continued to grow in her relationship with God. But here's the truth of our God. He bends down and listens. We don't have a God who's far away, who is detached from our trauma, our difficulty, who is standing away while we're suffering. We do suffer and have suffering in this world and suffering in our lives. And Anne-Marie's story would attest to that. We have a God who bends down and listens. He comes close when we pray. And this is why we pray. I remember when my daughter Shannon was a little girl and I tuck her into bed at night and she just had this thing that she would pull me right down to her and we'd put my face cheek to cheek with her face. She would pull me right down and say, "Pray, mommy." And I would pray in her ear. And I really believe that's the God we have. And I see Anne-Marie's story, this little girl who just pulled God right down to herself as a little girl, cheek to cheek, and prayed with God. God hears your prayers. He's bending down. He's listening. Whatever you're going through, just know He is right there, cheek to cheek with you. So never stop praying. Never stop calling out to a God who loves and cares for you and hears you. Check out the conversation with Ann-Marie Covert. I know it is going to deeply help you. This is Found in Focus.